And what'd you learn about your group in the scrimmage?
I think we got a lot of depth at a bunch of positions. Guys were flying around, making plays. I'm really, really confident about just from the front end to the back end, the amount of depth we have. We got a lot of reps. From scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2, I felt like we got better. Pardon me. We got to continue. We have to continue, obviously, to get better and watch those guys grow. But I'm just excited about the amount of depth we have all across the board.
What is Angelo McCollum added at nose tackle? Seems like he's on the rise for you.
Yeah, he's had a great fall camp. We watched Angelo get better progressively from spring ball to now. Man, he made a couple of plays that Coach highlighted in the team meeting room. Man, that were big time at that position. We always talk about as a really good defense, you got to be strong right up the middle between your nose and your tackles, your linebackers, and then obviously your safeties. But Angelo's had a really, really good fall camp. Excited about him moving forward, but I think he just provides a level of. Obviously, he's a young buck, hadn't played a lot, but between him, Kurt Neal, Carter Hewitt, just a ton of guys right at that position that gives us a ton of depth and a ton of experience at that spot.
We talked a lot about James Thompson. What stood out though about Kurt Neal and Tomar?
Yeah, I think I think they all complement each other so well. Like they all bring a different level to this game. And Kurt is just explosive. He's violent. His transitional pass rush is second to none. Right, he can get up the field and get vertical in a heartbeat. Tommy Waugh is the sky's the limit for that cat. Right, he's big, he's strong, he's physical. The only thing that's going to stop Tommy Waugh is Tommy Waugh. And so we're really excited about just his progression. I just tip my hat to Coach Jamison. He does a phenomenal job every single year bringing guys in who fit what we do. And he finds a way to get the best out of them. And right now I feel like those guys are playing at a really, really high level.
What excites you about Pat Ferrell?
Pat, other than the meeting, I call him Little J.J. Watt, man. He's so long, he's so athletic. He made some plays in the scrimmage that I was like super excited about. Just see his growth, right? I watched him last year versus Penn State. He made a couple of plays in that game, right? Like obviously he had to put on a little weight, had to get a little more physical, but like watch his progression and just watch how he handled from spring into fall camp now. Like when I speak about the depth pieces there, I'm talking about all across the board. From the noses to the tackles, right? Like. Again, Coach Jameson's done a tremendous job developing those guys, and I'm really excited about Pat. He's so long and athletic, and I think there's a level of physicality there, that he's continued to bring, from his time as a freshman until now. Like just watching his development, Coach Tank has done a tremendous job with him, and I'm just really excited about his growth moving forward.
Seems like there's still a position battle a little bit at the will linebacker position. Is Canino a little bit settled in there, or is it still up for grabs?
I won't tell you exactly who's ahead, but I will tell you this. We have a couple of battles just across the landscape of our defense, and we're telling guys this, right? Maybe you don't take the first snap, but you're going to play. I think in today's day and age, so many guys get caught up in taking the first snap, and what happens is they end up playing just as much or more than the actual guy who started the game. And so our goal as coaches is to try to put the best guys in the best position, but it's a great battle there. I'm excited about the battle there. You guys will have the chance to see that once we roll out those guys in our first game. But, not only just that position, there's a battle across the board, whether you're talking about at the safety position or at the corner position that we're really excited about. And so it's just we want guys to keep working, right? We haven't put out a depth chart or notified guys who are going to be starters, but I'm really excited about whether the guy's a starter or backup, just the level of depth we have just across the board of those positions.
How have you seen Canena get back? It was kind of a slower return for him early on last season. How have you seen him get back to it?
Yeah, man. That injury is, I think KO broke his ankle. That was on a sack, right? That was a devastating injury. That's a lower extremity injury, and I think it was just a level of things he had to go through last year, and I could recollect with KO because I tore my ACL, and so trying to come back from that, it doesn't always happen right now, but he's playing at an extremely high level right now, man, just a level of physicality. I would say he's back in full in KO mode. He's rushing the passer well, he's playing with violence, and I'm just really excited about the rest of his career here. Obviously it was hindered by a freak injury that happens on the field, but that's the game of football, and just to see him bounce back from that, that is why we get into coaching. That is why we try to encourage those young men through those moments, watching at Iowa, watching them run that, I think he ran a text and he ended up getting a sack off of it. But it was a cover me actually, but it was awesome to see him make that play. But just watching the process of him like bouncing back from that, it was a thing of beauty. And I'm just excited about his time here and his time going into the season.
In the last 8 months, what have you learned about James Thompson and maybe how he might impact your defense?
James Thompson is a one-of-one. We call him for a reason. He's wise beyond his years. I mean, that dude can walk into a room and automatically the room's happier, it's brighter, people are laughing. I mean, he's special, man. He's special just from what he brings. We were sitting down yesterday, and me and him, we were having lunch, right? It was like two 35-year-olds having lunch together. But he's so wise beyond his years. He's just he has such a level head and such great perspective that he can give to our younger guys. That is vital when you're talking about being a developmental program. Obviously James came out of the portal, you know what I mean? And we are beyond excited, not just to have him, but we got a couple of portal guys that we think highly of, just in terms of their maturity, in terms of their level of play. We feel like they're going to give us an advantage against the teams that we're going to play against just because of their experience and their ability to understand the game and the situation, But James, I can't speak highly enough to what James brings to not just this defense, but this team. I know Coach brought up the story of James bringing just donuts to our equipment staff one day, like randomly. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, man. Like, he's gonna light up a building. He's gonna light up an organization. And I'm just looking forward to seeing James play his best football. I know, obviously, he didn't play last year because of injury, but his best days are ahead of him. And boy, oh boy, are we excited about him.
When the Big Ten Network, came in, when you talked to them, what stands out to the outside eye about this Illinois defense?
Well, I think that we got a bunch of returners, a lot of people spoke in volume about the amount of returners that we have, not just on the front end, but on the back end. But, one thing that I told them is, year one for me was just a year of growth as a coordinator and as a father. I equated to being a dad. Year two was trying to establish myself and being a play caller and a father. In year three for me and for our staff, for us, just being dominant. We got a chance to put teams away, like putting them away, don't let them linger. And I think really, really good football teams do that, man. And so every day we go out there, whether we're taking the field in practice or whether we're doing a game, we just want to try to establish a level of dominance, and take over a game from our standpoint, just to give our offense more opportunity to score.
Aaron, you guys have talked about each defense having its own identity, the ID number you've always had. With so many returners back, how is this defense identity forming? Like, what are you seeing? What is the identity of this group?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So this year we're just continuing to build off those 5 pillars that I had a chance to tell you guys about, right? Passion, integrity, toughness, selfless, and perfect effort. I think we got a ton of guys who embody all of those, but you got enough young guys in. We got over 40 new guys on our roster that may not know exactly what those are. And so that was something I wanted to stick with coming off of a 10-3 season. Fellas, every year is 0-0. Like, we can carry nothing that we did last year ahead with us, and nothing else truly matters except the teams that we're playing. And so just want to give these guys a clear mind, a clear conscience, and just trying to show them live examples of what it looks like to display all those 5 pillars every single play, And so obviously there'll be a mayhem king after every practice, right? Whether it's sacks or takeaways, and we'll continue to push that here in this building, man. But I just think that for this team to be great, we got to block all the outside noise and just focus on one game at a time.
Aaron, there's one of the younger defensive linemen, or maybe not as young anymore, Jeremiah Warren. You watched Johnny, you watched Keith. How have you seen him grow? And secondly, what's that versatility? It seems like you'd have some versatility. What's that allow?
Yeah, it's a ton of versatility there. I mean, watching Biggs, Jeremiah Warren, just get better every single practice, man. It's been a thing of beauty. He had some plays in the scrimmage the other night where I looked at Coach Jamison like, man, we're going to be really, really good up front, man. Like, he just naturally does some things, and he's extremely fluid, and he allows us to have a level of versatility there just as a unit that I don't think we've had. Obviously Johnny Newton speaks for itself, but across the board with some of the guys that we have, I think this is the deepest we've been, and I'm really, really excited about it. I mean, we'll be able to roll guys in and out, and keep bodies fresh as the game progresses, man. And Biggs is just one of those guys who has gotten better every day that he's had a chance to practice, and we're looking forward to him playing this season.
Coach, last time you had this type of experience in the back end, you had top 5 defense in the country. What does that mean to have those 5 guys from communication standpoint, experience standpoint in the back end of the defense?
Well, I think naturally when you have that level of experience, you want to do more. And I think we can do more, but I have to do a really, really good job in knowing and understanding, like, what are we good at? What are we good at? What are teams trying to attack us on? And really, really, really allowing these guys to continue to I think we were really good in the past because our guys understand offense to a level that I think most defenses don't, and so we got a bunch of guys that played a lot of football, and I think is what's going to allow us to be successful on the back end is just doing what we did last year. And what I mean by that is just playing smart, complementary, right, winning football, keeping the ball in front of us, tackling well, and creating takeaways. Everybody want to know the secret to how you become you got to take the ball away, right? At the end of the day, like, no matter how good you are, I think if you look at one statistic across the board defensively, when you talk about great defense, they take the ball away. And so I really want us, despite the yards, I really want us to really focus on and emphasize, obviously, hitting the quarterback and taking the ball away.